Yes, it's really to get an idea of your journey so far. And I suppose the question I like to ask initially is if you had any sort of preconceptions of what you thought the training might be and how it'd be for you, etc.
Yeah, well, I attended the come and have a look at us kind of thing.
Mhm.
And where I was in my career, I'd been with the company or the organization 6 years. I was looking at my 3 to 5 year plan. And what I felt that I needed some areas where I would be in the future taking on line management responsibilities. I'd come out of clinical and managed a very big team. Left clinical, came into this role. So it's quite different managing. It's quite a small team, which can come with its advantages, but also disadvantages. So
Mhm.
there was elements within the course itself, like looking at finance, looking at strategy, dealing with conflict, negotiation, all of those kind of elements of an organization like ours
Mhm.
that I felt I didn't get in clinical practice. So hence when I saw the program, I was like, this is exactly where I would like to have the gaps filled so that in 3 years when I go for a promotion, I can show all the evidence of the learning and come up with all of these amazing things that I've learned today on the course and then get a promotion. That didn't work out exactly to plan in that I applied for a promotion about 3 months into starting the course and actually got the promotion. So, um, best laid plans. So then my 3 year plan went out the window. So I was a little bit taken aback at first, kind of thinking, "Oh my God, what have I just done?" Great to get a promotion, but then equally juggling that and the course itself. But actually, the course has supported me so much
Oh,
in
brilliant.
getting the promotion and figuring out all of those techniques of management and leadership and really thinking about actually the individual as well as the task and the service. So it's actually gone really well hand in hand. So
Oh,
a
fantastic.
perfect outcome.
Oh, brilliant. Well, that's great to hear. And sort of yeah, sort of one of the things I tend to ask is then sort of how's that gone in the workplace? So, the things you've learned you're already putting into the workplace by the sounds
Absolutely.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And because of the promotion, then I got more opportunities to chair meetings, to be strategic, to look at contracts, to bring in new stakeholders in and actually structure in a way. Time management is also a big factor as well, that having those models and tools that you can say, okay, what is the priority? What can I control? What can't I control? What can I achieve? What can I delegate? And actually really looking at things rather than just reading the books and kind of saying that's a really good model or that's excellent. It's actually applying them. And I think
Yes.
the assignments have fitted really well into that. And the portal I find is excellent. So what I do is I go through each. I use OneNote religiously. So I've got a tab for each of the areas that I've covered. And
Mhm.
then the assignments, when I want to do the assignments, I go back to each of the models or techniques or what I've learned and then build that into the assignments. But there's no shortage of evidence in my work to be able to support the assignments and show the ways in which it's working. So I found the course couldn't be better for the work that I'm doing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Yeah, it could have been. You must have thought, oh my goodness, what have I got myself into? But actually,
Yeah.
it's helped you. So
I think I couldn't tell anybody I'd got the promotion for about 24 hours because I was so shocked. I was like, oh my God, be careful what you wish for. But it's worked out really well. And I think the last assignment allowed me to look at the whole group. So not just people I directly line manage, but the group itself and look at development opportunities and needs. Our
mhm,
group has doubled in size in the last 4 months.
fine.
So we had a huge recruitment process to go through. We had the onboarding, the induction, all of those, but also it gave me an opportunity to look at people already in the group and say,
Mhm,
well, what are your gaps? Where is your development needs?
mhm,
And just really direct them to the resources. We're really lucky at UKHSA. We've got great online platforms. We've got opportunity for learning. We've got educational funds.
mhm,
So it's ensuring that people that have been in the organization a while don't get too stagnant and think, oh, well, I'm just here. It's
Yeah.
flexible working and I'm ticking a box. It's kind of going, well, what would you like to do?
Mm.
And I think the mentoring for me was a really big one. I had a mentor when I first started because I found a transition from clinical to office-based really difficult.
Mm.
And then when I did the assignment and I did a personal development plan with some of the team, the mentoring thing was like, oh, I didn't know that was there and that opportunity was available. So I think that was really good for that kind of thinking outside the box and people kind of going, actually, I haven't thought about my development needs for a while.
Yeah.
And then the networking opportunity as well has been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So our organization is huge and it's spread out all over the UK. So I've really linked in really nicely with some of my cohort, and we've got offline chats and like we kind of bounce off each other. So it's that kind of connection as well that's been really, really good.
Yeah, yeah, and we often hear that, it isn't just what you learn from the Lighthouse Group. It's who your peers that you're working with, and
Absolutely.
it's great, isn't it? It's
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, a
And I
great way
think
to
for
learn.
me, like our team weren't as badly affected by COVID as other people were. I think the track and trace were brought in and then they were on short contracts and they didn't have the security of their role. And when you're in this bubble that I was in the medical
Mhm.
exposures group, you hear about the gripes and you kind of think, God, why is everyone so discontent? And then you kind of go, oh, I get it now. So
Yes,
yeah, it's
yeah,
been really good for that kind of a better awareness of the organization, I think.
yeah,
And because we've been through so much change just in the last 4 years,
yeah,
I think again diving into that and saying, well, what is our strategy? What are our values? And where are we going? What's the goal? And can we see that golden thread in the work we do with the
yes,
wider organization? And that's kind of reassuring, I find as well, because you kind of
yeah,
think, well, are our jobs secure? And you're kind of thinking, actually, yes, because the whole ethos of the organization is what we do as a job.
yeah. Oh, that sounds great, and it's great way to evaluate what you're doing when you can match it to
Yes,
the goals of the organization, isn't it?
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
So yeah, no, it's been really good. So I've loved the course. I'm sure
brilliant.
Angie's like
Yes,
probably
she did.
saying
Yeah.
she's like this excited bunny about it. Which I am. I love learning, and I think the way in which this is delivered
Hmm.
really suits because you can tap in, you can go on the portal. The online resources are good, and then the lectures are good as well. So
Hmm.
they get people thinking and chatting, and
Hmm.
so yeah, it's been a really good experience for me.
Oh, fantastic. And that's
Yeah.
great to hear. I mean, I feel a bit guilty asking this question because
Mm.
obviously you've done two new things so recently, but have you thought about what could possibly be next?
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
If the opportunity allows, I obviously I kind of feel like I've had a good bite of the cherry. So I would like to go on and maybe do the next level. I want to ultimately get my master's. I don't have my master's. I had
Hmm.
started it a couple of times and just for different reasons, changing jobs and whatever else. So I would like to progress and get more under my belt. What that looks like, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like to carry on and this is a level 5, so
Yeah.
maybe look at the level 6 or look at different ways of continuing this learning.
Yes.
Certainly within the group, we didn't have a group leader until very recently. So she's looking at whether this would be applicable for all of the team leaders to attend this course.
Oh,
And that will be me feeding back to her on the value of it.
yes.
So yeah, and I know a lot of UKHSA people have done the course
Yeah.
and are going through and at different stages. So
Yeah.
it certainly shows the value of your company and how much UKHSA like kind of see the merit of doing it.
Yeah. Oh, it's great
Yeah.
to hear. And thanks for being such a good advocate for us, Yvonne.
Oh
It's
no,
so
like honestly, I think you have to there's always that balance. You're never going to get that one day a week off, and everybody's very realistic about that.
mm,
But I think if you can apply it to your workplace, then you're already doing that requirement of the 20% within the week because
indeed.
I get ideas in my head and I jot it down or I go to my OneNote page and I can feed it into my assignment. So
Yeah.
it's not strictly speaking down tools on a Friday and saying, I'm sorry, I'm studying today.
Yes.
The reality doesn't quite work like that, but
No.
I think as a group, I think we've managed really well, and we're really supportive of each other as well. So if there's an assignment, like I said, we have the group chat on Teams, and people are saying, oh, what did you do in this section, or any ideas about this? And that
Yeah.
shared learning is really, really good and supportive as well, which is what David said right at the start. And then
Yes.
who knew that he would be right? Like he's done it before.
He's annoyingly good, David, I must
He's
say.
very good, and an
Yes.
envious travel passport
Oh,
stamping.
yes.
He's always off here, there, and everywhere, isn't he? Although I
Yes.
can't talk, I'm off to Chicago on Friday for a
Oh, are
conference.
you?
So
Oh,
that's why when
lovely.
you were saying about the future, I was like, I need to be quite careful because I've definitely had my money's worth this year.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
pleased.